very interesting topics to talk about because I know nobody likes to get their time wasted, period. So, today I'm gonna give you a little scenario and we're gonna build and talk on this situation. So, a guy takes a girl out on a first date, spends $1,100 on the bill.
No bueno.
That's OD.
The girl gets her ex to come pick her up from the date,
Big
and
disrespect.
he doesn't hear from this girl again.
Duh.
And he files a lawsuit to sue her
Good.
for wasted time. What do we think about this?
What was his expectation such that he believed that his time was wasted? Like, was the date fun? Did they have a good time and then they just parted ways? Or was he expecting to fuck or something? Like, what was his expectation?
That's easy.
I get it. I don't know why anyone
I think he
was
should sue himself.
for being stupid,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm thinking.
Right. That's
You guys don't
That's
get
just-
what's
that's just
going on.
taking
All right,
it L.
all right,
that's
so
what
let's
I'm
answer
saying.
the
I'm
question
trying to
for real.
understand. Like, I want
All right.
more, like...
No, but I feel like Aaron's questions are valid.
We don't
But
know.
let's answer the question.
Those
though.
questions are not valid to
Because
a
of the
sense.
No,
topic.
because
All
if
right.
you're
We don't
if
know.
you're if you're doing a lawsuit, these are the questions that a judge will ask. These are
They
questions
need
that the
context.
lawyers
They
will
need
ask.
context.
Yeah, they're going to ask for context. This whole situation, you can't just sue somebody just to sue somebody and think you're
Well,
going to
but
get
you
money.
can't- Okay, well, guess what? This is why God has given Rico from within this great piece of paper. See, this is why I do this part. Aaron is a lawyer, but she's not a lawyer for this type of.
You're right, I'm not.
She doesn't have this jurisdiction on this type of case.
So read it.
Okay.
I want to get to
So
it.
the greatest thing
But
about
you
this
do,
is-
so let's hear it.
It's not that I do, but I do. But so he can sue because the laws are very vague in certain instances, right? For example, emotional distress is a good valid case for this. Because it wasn't the fact that he spent $1,100. It was the fact that he could claim that it was a traumatizing date once he spent $1,100 and she got picked up from an ex, which in emotional distress, it is tied to any emotional reaction, right? I'm going to read it for you guys. I'm going to start from over here because this is just a synonym. Emotional distress claims cover instances in which a victim suffers a severe emotional reaction due to another party's actions. For emotional distress to apply in court, the act in question must have been negligent or intentional. And I've been watching How to Get Away with Murder with Viola Davis,
Great
and I'm like on season 6 right now.
Great show.
Like, and it's been 2 weeks, maybe 2.5, right? So
I
I'm
would
like,
so watch that over again.
yeah, and this is like using vague laws that you could put into your favor. Now, granted, I just think he's being spiteful, which honestly I would too, because it's like, yo, if I spend $1,100 on you and me, right? At least have some type of like class, consideration, respect.
Which would be what?
Like you can
Not
leave
have
in
your
a
ex
moral, you can
pick
leave
you
in
up?
you can leave in an Uber. Don't have your ex come pick you up after I just spent a band on you. You know what I'm saying? Look, $1,100 is close to some people's rent out here.
Wait, but if you weren't like taking the person home, or you hadn't already made arrangements for that person to go home, and that
Maybe they
and
were.
and the ex was the ride, like, what are we mad about?
I'm pretty sure he drove her there. No dude is spending $1,100 and he didn't bring her.
He spent $1,100. She should have some decency. And blah, 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 blah. It's not like he had expectations. Because my thing is, if you're going on a date, right, you just enjoy it for that moment. Now, if there was conversation, this with context will come in, that'd be different. But since we don't know that, that's
don't
hearsay.
so don't bring
So
no if.
going back, I didn't. That's what you
hearsay.
said. That's hearsay. That's
Don't
what
even
you
speak
said.
about it.
You just
Lawyer.
Yeah. Caught you in the live. So anyway, my point is going back to if I'm taking you on a date, whether I spend 100 to a band to 2,000, 3,000. I shouldn't have any expectations. I shouldn't be like, oh, because I spent 3,000, you got to do X, Y, Z. That's your fault. You know, so the emotional stress to me goes on you. To me, like you said, he is being spiteful. To me, this is a dumbass lawsuit. Why are you spending that much money anyway? Why are you having expectations? Just go have a good time, have fun.
It's different if that's your girl and
It's
you
not his
want to
girl.
treat it exactly, but it's different if you spend that kind of money trying to, you know, take her on a date on something somewhere that she wants to go to. But if this is just a first date with someone that you're not even dating, first date, that's the key. First date, you shouldn't have
That's his
been
first and last
spending
mistake.
spending that much money.
Rico
Because
would do it.
if you don't even know,
I wouldn't do
if,
it.
hold on, but if you don't even know for sure that you got this girl.
You
But
could
listen, you guys
smash.
can't ask me because me is different.
No, but we talking about the scenario.
No, yeah, we're
But-
talking
but-
about the scenario.
okay,
You
so
spending
what are we
$1,100
talking-
on a first date.
What are we talking
This
about?
lawsuit, does he have a
Okay.
valid case?
Of course, you read the definition. That is non-negotiable here, Oliver.
No. Okay. So
I feel like
I wait,
what
wait, so
what I think would
I think
not make it a valid case is him not really knowing her
And you gotta
and
prove
it
that.
really being just the first date.
He gotta
I
prove
would
that.
understand that if this was someone that he was continuously dating, that he was emotionally in distress, like because maybe this was like continuously happening. But you didn't know this girl. You didn't know this girl from anywhere.
I mean, you
and
don't
you
know
shouldn't
that.
have expected anything more of her.
What I'm
Bitches
saying
ain't
is,
shit sometimes.
I don't want to argue.
Wow.
They really not. Sometimes you really don't know who you're taking on a date.
You going for dinner. She going for dinner.
Yeah, she's going for dinner. She's gonna get whatever she wants from you.
You want to be an ain't shit ass individual and cause me emotional trauma, you gonna pay too. We both finna pay. My thing is this: listen, I'm not gonna ever deny he did something foolish. That's not what I'm denying. But what I think is the problem in today's world is that everybody wants to never take accountability for being ain't shit. If you an ain't shit ass individual, especially a woman that's gonna make a man spend $1,100 on you and then disrespect him and get picked up by your ex afterwards,
No.
you deserve whatever the law is about to hand to you.
No doubt she was fucked up. No doubt. Like I don't think
Was she?
So this is my take. One, shut up. My take is that if you are so mad about these $1,100, perhaps you should not have decided to take a woman on that date that costs $1,100. Because if it's gonna break you, if you're gonna be mad about it, if it doesn't live up to your expectations, then you shouldn't be spending it in the first place. You know, I think maybe his expectations were a bit too high for whatever he thought was gonna happen. I don't think it had anything to do with the ex picking her up. Because unless the ex walked inside the restaurant, pulled out her chair, said, "Hey, we leaving right now." Well, I don't understand what's so bad about him sitting outside, you know.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna argue with you on that.
Thank you.
What?
Because
About time.
if I picked up a girl and I
Outside.
took her on a date, I brought her here. And I spent $1,100 on her and she just walked away and said, "Hey, thanks for the date," and went in another nigga's car. I'm sorry, but no.
Thank you. High five.
No.
What you
but
gonna
the
do?
thing
What
is
you gonna
that-
do? Talk about what
I'ma
you gonna
be-
do? What you
But
gonna
like,
do?
but
I'm
why are
being-
you
What you gonna
mad?
do?
You're
Fucking
mad.
pissed.
You're mad because
Expectations.
your expectations
Thank you.
weren't reasonable. They
Stop.
But we're on a date. We're on a date. Let me take you home. I took you here. I brought you here.
You know that,
I
right?
don't know. So I'm under the
Let me
assumption-
pay for your
I'm just under the
Uber.
assumption
I'm not about
that-
to.
She got
It's
that by
mad.
herself?
It's
Yeah, that she
rude.
No. I highly doubt this man went on a date. Time out. Y'all mean to tell me this. Listen, now let's use common sense for a second. I highly doubt this man asked this girl to go on a date and she pulled up with her ex and then he spent $1,100 and then she went home with him.
Right.
I highly doubt that happened.
I agree.
What if she took a Uber there and that was the disguise? You don't know if you picked her up.
What I'm trying to say is this, right?
Where does the ex?
The
think she went?
man had to have known that it was her ex. Like, we're not saying that it's a claim, that a hypothesis. So for me to know your ex, we had to been speaking. For me to know what your ex looks like, we had to been speaking. And if I didn't see him, for me to know what kind of car he has, we had to been speaking for some previous time before.
I mean,
There
or
is
it simply just wasn't an Uber that you just came out of.
She went home with the. She went
Yeah,
home.
or-
At what point in time do you start to look at yourself in the mirror and reflect? That's not saying we're gonna disregard the fact that he was putting himself in the position to be taken advantage of, right?
Wait, so quick question. So you're saying that, so is it fair to say, but for him putting himself in a position to be taken advantage of, he would have never been taken advantage of?
Listen, let's go down. Do you think he has a case? Yes or no?
That's really what it all boils
Like
down
in a
to.
real court of law, no.
That is a real thing.
No, in a real court of law, no.
What's a real court of law?
Meaning like the judge is
Because
gonna
if
look
you
at-
want to sue her, are you really
I was
going?
asking you a question, ma'am.
I'm really just saying because that's
Objection.
what the question
Objection.
is. Like we can argue who's
Sustained.
wrong or who's right,
Yeah,
or
but the
it's-
thing is, does he have a case?
We're asking one by one. Oliver said, "If you do this again, you'll be held in contempt and ate at the table."
Stop watching How to Get Away.
Anyway, I like.
Please stop
in
watching
response to
it.
Oliver, I got it. In response to Oliver's question, I don't think there's a valid case. However, when we just kind of like, if we was like on maybe Judge Judy or like Steve Harvey's court or, you know, all these like shows.
Instagram
like
court, he got a case. That's where his case is. Your case lives on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, I think on Instagram, you know, there'll be hella judges who would agree with this guy's case.
Or just
Personally,
entertainment.
I don't, because I feel like you put yourself in that situation and you spent that money and your expectations were not what they should have been. Because even if you spent $100 and the date didn't go how you thought it should go, are you entitled to sue and get $100 back?
Once it actually reaches
That's a good question.
No,
Is he
it's
hurt
not.
by the amount that he spent?
Duh.
Or the whole experience? No, but think about it.
But if
Experience
it's the
is
amount that
experience.
you spent, you can't go into the court and say that.
Ah.
Bro, time out.
Hey.
Time out. Yes, you can. First and
I
foremost.
think it's he felt disrespected.
This is your case.
No, guys.
This-
No, listen, bro. First of all, if you need to hire, I'm an attorney hundo right now.
Oh gosh.
There is, first of all, a statute of limitations or not. That's
What? Statute of
I
limitations?
know. Hold on. I love the lingo.
Stop.
I'm loving it.
No. Don't help him out.
First of all,
there is a
TikTok,
limitation
YouTube,
on
Instagram.
the amount.
What's
Wait, time
that?
out.
It happened last week, bro.
Stop it.
Statute of limitations.
I get that. I meant to
No.
say there is a limitation on the amount you can sue for. So you can't be like, I'm gonna sue for $100. You don't have a case for $100. But so when you start to
But emotional distress.
No,
Is there a price? Is there a price on your emotional distress? Is there a price on your emotional distress?
the max that you can get.
You
in a
took me to Applebee's.
I need you to stop talking. All right? If you would like to know the answer to your questions, the max you could get for an emotional distress case in a small court is $5,000.
It says on that paper?
No, but
I like that.
this is what I know.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This
I'll
is
take
attorney
that.
hundo, guys.
So you done this plenty of
now if I
times.
say-
Okay, Nico done this plenty of times.
So what would happen is you would sue for $1,100 and then you would ask for the max of $5,000 for emotional distress. If the judge decided to grant in your favor, they could grant you $1,100, $2,500, whatever they may deem will be that case. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Aaron, I got you if you ever need to
I don't
hire
know.
me.
No. You already messed up the statute of limitations.
Wait. Speaking of, since he's playing an attorney today, From Within said, Amanda, you're picking up on Pastor Rico's scripture. So shout out to Within in your comment.
My point is, I totally agree that what homegirl did is wrong. I just think that when you bring it to law, when you bring it to court, it might not work out.
Because if he got $1,100 to spend, he don't care about the money. But if I take her to court, she got to spend money on a lawyer that she might not have.
It'll be a small claim. She can.
No,
Yeah, that's
so
not
this
that
is
much.
what
That's
this
not
is
that
what I
much.
was trying to tell you
reaching.
before.
She can represent
reaching.
herself.
I was
Because-
reaching.
She gonna represent herself. She gonna represent herself and lose. All right.
I mean, hey, but she'll lose
No,
more money.
what I was trying to
this
say
time.
before,
This
when you were saying that you were mad about how much you spent, like if you go into court and you were like saying that this is your case, I'm mad because I spent $1,100 and this girl did this and this and this, then you're making it about the money. You got to make it
it really is about
specifically
the money.
about emotional distress, and that's how you're gonna win. That's the only way you're gonna win.
Yeah, no,
If you
I
can
get
prove
that,
that
but you
too.
can't.
And you also gotta prove that.
But you can't prove an emotional distress
Yes, you
case on
can.
$50. That's the problem that you will have. So there is a limit that there. I don't know what that may be. It could be $750.
I get it, but you don't have to mention the money though. You
No,
can
no,
mention
no.
his acts.
Guys, you don't have to mention the money, but you have to mention something that's gonna hold some type of value. I can't be like, yo, you know what? She stole my bracelet that was worth $22 and I have emotional distress. A judge gonna be like, get over it. But if I say, yeah, listen, this not only did this date cost $1,100, at the end of the day, there is a minimum for you to really have an emotional attachment to. So if I only had, let's just say, what makes my emotional distress case stronger, if I only had $1,300, and she wanted to go to this place, and I did not know that it was going to cost me $1,100. And it cost me $1,100, and now I'm left with $200, and on top of that, she left the way that she left. Now I could be like, yo, I'm emotionally and financially impacted for X amount of days until I actually can get back up. I'm just saying, is he wrong for being a fool? 1,000%. But is she wrong for doing that and taking advantage? 1,000%. 1,000%.
Listen, man. Don't
Like,
But sometimes the law isn't the get your homeboys to rob that bitch
Anyway,
and her nigga.
Listen, it's a saying that don't spend
Right,
what
and
you
her
Jungle
ex.
justice.
It's a
And
saying
her
like
ex.
don't lend out what you know what you that you gonna want back. Listen, you gotta check it up as an L, bro. You gotta check that up as an L. Like you went out to spend that amount of money. You want to recoup whatever? No, you
I
should.
don't agree with taking the L.
My thing is
Gotta
this.
do
My
something.
thing is this,
Maybe
right?
not the court of law.
What I'm saying
but you
is
gotta
this.
do something.
Retaliation.
This happened because you wanted to spend an X amount of money. Cool. You wanted to give the experience. You wanted to impress. Cool. You got an experience, all right. And you also got a lesson in that. And that lesson is spend within your mental, your emotional distress. It's like, you know how they said spend within your
means.
You just said date within your means. Spend within your means. Spend within your mental capacity. If I know I got 11,000, I don't got to spend all 11. I mean 100, whatever that number is. I don't got to spend. If I know I got 500 to spend, I'm not gonna spend 500. We're gonna have the best $150 date. I'm telling you, we're gonna have the best $150 date. That's when you're creative and innovative. So no, in my opinion, he doesn't have a case. He doesn't have a case. It's good for him. Ladies, learn from this jackass.